fucking knee. Oh shit.
You hit your knee.
Little bit. Yeah. All right. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Me versus Me podcast. Here I am with my boss. Actually, he's kind of the reason why we're able to let this go down here in the office. So you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Tom, and not much about me. As Richard mentioned, the owner of Pure Energy Construction. And just coming here to explore some ideas, share some thoughts.
Yeah, that's for you guys. I'm here all the time, so realistically, it's like I grow daily. But as I've mentioned in like previous episodes and stuff, what I want to do is be able to create like a value for you guys when you guys like stop on by to listen, maybe learn some stuff about business, maybe about us personally, some stuff that maybe you guys can like relate to, I guess. I don't know, but I did tell my homie I was gonna do this. Shout out to Robert for the cup. See this shit? Look at this.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Was your friend making them or what?
No. He just got back from a trip from Maine.
Oh.
Yeah. So and then there was like a joke with like Joel and Stephanie where I was like, I don't want to drink coffee if it's not in a cup from Maine, you know. So I was just like, talking shit. But I knew he was gonna bring me the cup.
Nice cup, though. A lot of coffee.
Oh yeah. I had to pick this up from Starbucks and just bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah. I didn't want to like waste all the coffee at the office and stuff. But yeah, so all right. You and me, we've touched base on this before, but how did you transition from, let's say, the beginning, first starting construction and stuff, to now you're kind of like doing your thing here at Pure Energy?
Like you asking like how did I get into the business industry in general, or how did I get from working in it to where I'm at right now?
Yeah, or like maybe what was your experience like?
In which direction? Like what, business wise? What, like working? Like there's so many. I mean, for me, it was always about growth. I since I was really young, like 12, 13, I knew I wanted to. It's not just about making money. It was about making a company, making a business. I had like people in my family that had big businesses, and I was always like, I found it interesting, like how everybody come to work, how everybody's doing their thing, how it's become a system. And obviously the money comes with it, so it's make it even more interesting. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, the more the time went by, I learned more. I learned more about what it means to have a business. In the beginning, you're thinking it's just you buying for $1 and selling for $2, but it's much more than that. There's many more factors in business in general that I got to learn with the time, and still learning. But that's what makes it interesting. I think that's meeting new people all the time, getting to know how to work with different type of people. It's interesting.
Also, I feel like it kind of, because I mean, you go like to these leads and stuff, so it's like, I'd imagine all of like your scaredness that you probably felt when you first started doing it to now is probably like way different.
Oh yeah, like going like first appointment, giving estimates, try to close, like sales wise. Oh, definitely. I mean, it took me good 1-2 years to really get confident in sales. Like, I mean, you wanna, they say you wanna sell to yourself before you're selling anybody else, because if you're not buying it, why somebody else would buy it? I mean, they can sense on you if you don't believe in what you're selling. They're saying everywhere, believe in what you're selling, but this just means sell it to yourself first. Just believe why it's right, what you're doing. And it took me time, because it takes time to do a good job. Even when you getting a job, to get the right people, to do it correctly, to do it, seamlessly without an issue. That took some time, and and the more, I think the more time you spend in everything, you get comfortable, your body gets used to it, it's become a routine, it's easier. But also being creative. In this job, there's a lot of being creative. If you're not creative, if you think that you're just gonna give an estimate and everybody gonna jump on your, and take it, that's not going to happen. You always need to bring value. You need to do things differently. try to adjust with every person you serve. Yeah.
Yeah, so what you mentioned there, to me, like transfers over to like martial arts even. But I've found that certain things, like certain keys, are like universal for certain stuff, right?
Yeah.
For example, when you're saying that, you have to readjust, like even in martial arts, you're going for a certain angle and stuff, you kind of mess up, just readjust, or maybe you threw a combo or something.
Yeah.
You got to kind of just readjust and get back in there.
Actually, I had a thought. I saw some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean, sometimes I'm watching martial arts, MMA, whatever, and I watch this, and it's really remind me business, because it's like Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not like, again, all about it. I don't know everything about it, but you literally, like, they're choking each other, until someone cannot. But it's funny because every time someone thinks like it's the end, it just somehow he found an angle and he got out of it. And that's the same thing in business. At least the experience I have, like you can find yourself in a situation you have no idea how you're gonna, get over it, how you're gonna move forward. You just think that things going down, but somehow you find this angle, things happening with the right attitude, with the right mindset, with the right beliefs. Even though everything looks like it's going to fall down, you find the right angle and you get out of it. So actually, it's something I thought about like maybe 2-3 days ago, how martial arts, and I had a little bit of experience with martial arts. I did some Krav Maga, if you heard about it, like a self-defense back in Israel. So I've been in this situation that you almost like, losing it or falling and or passing out, and just something just to wake you up. So the same thing, I think it gave me a lot of value in business.
Yeah, and not just that, but like think about it, like when you're doing like martial arts and stuff, right? Sometimes your nervous system has to adapt to, like, let's say the beating, right? Or in jujitsu, like getting choked out, strangled. Yeah. So once you actually get past that, your body no longer responds to it like fear. You kind of like, you can relax, And I imagine it's very similar, like when you go into these job sites and stuff, you can kind of just, hey, what's up? My name's Tom, okay, you want us to, and then you can kind of be more like in the flow of things.
Yes. There was a movie, I don't remember his name, it's like about English soccer teams, and they had these crazy fans that always used to fight. So anyway, there was this guy over there, and he said, and I remember it in my head for a long time. He said, when you get the first punch, you understand that your body is not made of glass, and you can have some more. Yeah. So but before you're getting the first punch, you don't even know that it's you're scared of it. You're scared that it's gonna kill you. But same thing with money, with business. That's how I feel like you just need to experience things to see that there's not as painful. And even when it feels like it's always like you in the corner. There's always an angle that you can somehow use.
Yeah, and also getting used to rejection, right? Let's say taking that beating, hypothetically in this scenario, you're getting told no, you're getting told yes, but sometimes the no is really heavy on you, and you got to like move over to that next lead. It's like sometimes it can be kind of brutal, but it's that ego death. It's killing that pride, so that way you can continue to just like, okay, what are the fundamentals? What are the basics here that I could take with me that are gonna make me successful in what I do?
Yeah. I feel like, again, it's in business, you don't take it personal, right? It's business. If someone say no, yeah, you can't. Yeah. Specifically being a salesman in the industry that we're working at, it's not, I mean, I saw many salespeople, how they started taking everything personal. I mean, I've heard way more no than yes, and I think every successful person, even you see a lot of videos and things about people, like how many times they got a no before they got a yes. When you care about the yes, when your eyes on the prize, nothing else matter. You depends on how hungry you are. Many people say they want to do business and they want to make money, but they're not as hungry as they say.
Yeah. So look, I used to work at a cell phone spot, right? Selling phones in the mall. Yeah. I used to work at a kiosk in the mall, right? So, and it was a really small ghetto one, and it was predominantly Latino based. So you pretty much had to stand at a kiosk for your full 8 hours unless you want to break or something.
You're not working kiosk too.
Yeah, you told me about that. Yeah, and then, but the difference between like some of the guys at the kiosk is they'd have a chair, and we'd just be standing there like, it looked like an H. It had this, and it had like this long table in the middle. and we'd just be out there sharking, man. We'd be like, anybody who passed by our kiosk, and I'm telling you, it's like a really small mall. So it's like, if you pass by here, you got like all of us just looking at you like, you gonna get him? All right, I'm gonna get him. And then we just.
So I think the kiosk, by the way, it's all the same. By the way, and the kiosk, I think it's the worst job ever, but I think it's the one that really gave me so many tools to use in business. It's such a hard job. I mean, it's exactly the way you said it. It's like 8 hours, 12 hours, you standing. Even if you have a chair, by the way, they didn't let us sit on the chairs because the chairs were for the clients. So when you sit on the chair, it's like you're basically not working. So they didn't allow us to sit. I used to sell hair straighteners.
Oh, okay. That's good money. That's good money.
I mean, good money, anything when you sell it. If you don't sell it, you don't make good money. But it was just trying to, catching everybody. And it was really hard, though. It was really hard standing. It's like physical and also emotional. Like you can have a whole day with no sale. And then this person can come in the last minute. But it teaches you so much about life. Seriously, it teaches me so much about life, about how patient you need to be, that sometimes things will not go the way you want them to go. They will go probably a different way. And you need to adjust yourself, work with it, and still moving forward. It's I did it like maybe 5 years, like 5 seasons.
Yeah, that's a lot of time, man.
Pretty tough.
Oh, excuse me. But I feel like it teaches you an endurance, right? It teaches you that rejection is gonna happen. It's part of the game. Keep going. Because I couldn't tell you how many times like we'd be at the mall and we'd be trying to sell to someone. They're like, I'm good. And I'm like, oh, but wait, we got this phone. And they'll stop what they're doing. And then it's like a movie. You're like, hey, yo, like, and then they start walking towards you. And it's like, what do you do at that point? You keep your cool. And then you remember the training,
We knew back, it's funny, we're talking about the kiosk. We knew that every time we try to stop, we sold hair straighteners. So it was for ladies mainly. And when there's this lady that she's walking in the mall and you start trying to stop her, some will just come, hey, yes, what do you have, and just be nice. And some will say, no, I can't stop. I have to go. And she was like super in a rush and and just screaming and loud. If you could stop these ones, and when we stopped them, they always bought from us. Always. People giving you rejection, also in the leads that we're going right now, not because they don't want it or they don't need it. It's because they know they're going to buy it if they just being, giving it to you. They want to buy it. Obviously, people calling our company to do construction. So they want to get an estimate, but they definitely want to do the job. They're just looking for the right person. But a resistance is just because they don't want you to reach their pocket right now. They just want to take their time sometime. They want to do due diligence, which not necessarily always helping them.
Yeah, well, I think the best way to go about it is they're a little bit apprehensive because you're still a stranger trying to sell them something, and maybe they didn't go there for that. But I do know that the women at the malls and stuff, they're some of the biggest consumers, right? Because you have the husband who's probably working, they're probably walking around with their son or their daughter, and they're pretty much watching the kids, grabbing a little Starbucks or something.
Yeah.
They see the hair straighteners and like, oh damn, well I could spend a little bit of money. They see you, young Tom, like, hey, what's up? I'll sell you a hair straightener, but also the hair blower, and they're like, oh damn, I can't spend that money. And you're like, but wait, I'll also throw in this comb, and they're like, shit, all right, it's so much value, you know what I mean? It's finding the value for them that makes it worth the buy. Because I remember we used to, man, we're over there in Panorama City, right? It's the ghetto pretty much. And then we're selling we're competing with some of the top stores in pretty much like all of our district, all of our region, and we're just a little kiosk in a ghetto mall.
Yeah.
And what it was is pretty much we spoke the language, we knew what people wanted, and we also had like the people who were like coming trying to spend cash, and we're like, all right, bet, but maybe there's cricket right there. So what's the difference between us and cricket? The value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You want 5 lines, you can go to cricket, you can go to T-Mobile, they'll give you unlimited. But here's the thing though. We're not them. We're Sprint. So buy the phones from us. And then they're like, okay, yeah, sounds legit.
They just want to be sold, man. Everybody want to be sold. I want to be sold too. Everyone want to be sold. It's fun to buy. Yeah. I think the whole economy is based on people buying, right? We love to buy. The mall everywhere.
Strip clubs.
Hey, anything you like. Yeah. No judgment.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty important to know that if you're looking to get into sales or some sort of like business, you're gonna get told no. Even me, like performing sometimes. When I first started performing, it was like a whole different ballgame than just me recording or me even just rapping in front of my friends. I got probably like 15 people in front of me who don't know who I am. They don't understand what I'm doing. And that's where like your whole thing about clarity comes into play.
Yeah.
If you can make someone understand what it is that you're there for, they'll be a little bit more inclined to listen. And then just pretty much taking the product that I've recorded like so many times and then basically like delivering that in front of people, it takes courage. It takes a certain special, I don't give a to be able to do that and know that I'm just gonna go out there and do my thing. And even if people don't like it, I know this is still the best me. So somewhere in that, there's a special product, in store for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do think that in somewhere people's opinion is important to take into considerations. I'm not saying again that's my personal opinion. And just when one person tells you something, can ignore it, the second, the third, the fourth. But when you see that it's a pattern, you always want to listen and understand from it. Not saying that you should stop doing what you're doing. You can do whatever you want. You can, if we're talking specifically about singing, rapping, you should keep doing it. Just be always, the people around you, at least the important one, they want good for you. It doesn't mean that they know exactly who's going to be a talent and who's not. They have no idea, but they part of this crowd. That's important to understand if you have any, like, what's the feedbacks? If there's bad feedbacks, maybe these are things you can improve. It could be some some instructions for you as a rapper, because we know that, that if as a rapper you're not at the top of your potential, right, or at the top of your skills, right, you're going to get better and you will do better. So it's good to be aware and get some feedback. There's nothing wrong about bad feedback. I listen, but I take whatever I want to take from it.
Exactly. Yeah. Whatever resonates with you.
Yeah.
And also the feedback for sure, because there's times in there where you're like, people aren't hating. They're really just trying to give you some stuff, like little gems, right? You have the people who throw salt in the game, and then you have people who give you gems because they really want to see you iced out, blinged out with some knowledge,
Yeah, so many haters, though.
So many. We're about to drop a diss track. It's called the I Love You. We love you, haters.
Yeah, the haters are the source of your, of at least in my life and of my motivation for many things.
Yeah.
I mean, as a young kid, I remember things like people who told me or something and made me believe that I can't or something. And it's pushed me through really difficult things that I was thinking, like, damn, just because they told me I can't, that's made me want to do it so much.
Yeah.
Keep coming, just tell me I can do it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like what, martial arts, right? I'm going back into that because that's what I love. But it's like you just keep showing up, right? Yeah, you got your ass beat up by like a little 8-year-old girl last time, but you know what? Tomorrow, she'll probably still beat you up, but keep going.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
You know what? She's only going to get better beating you up, but at least you keep going.
That's right. Hey, you can try to protect yourself, right?
Yeah. Be on the guard, bro. She's a beast. That actually happened to me, by the way. I'm not just messing around. Like,
yeah, there's some tough ones out there.
Yeah, bro. But, I mean, even like the adjustments that we were talking about earlier and stuff, you got to be able to, all right, what am I doing here? Because if you're just operating off of like ego, like let's say me, I write down a sales pitch, right? And I'm selling it, trying to get these people to buy it. It might work on the first 5 people, but after that, I realize that either it's something in me or people are just kind of hearing like it's too generic or something. So after that, like they don't want to buy with that same sales pitch, and I got to look at what I'm doing. Like, oh, fuck. Like, I know I'm saying everything exactly how I did the first time, but it's just like, for whatever reason, it's just not so... it doesn't have that shine to people anymore. And then after that, it's like, oh, okay, let me make a little adjustment. Boom. Now I got more people listening. Like, oh, okay, cool. For just a second longer and then a step closer to the kiosk, I can maybe make some moves with that.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Change all the time. Sales, I'm in construction. I've been doing it for 7 years. Every year change, and also in the kiosk, you have a speech, you're working by the speech, but then the more you fluent with it, the more you understand every part of it, the more you can really choose the parts of the speech that you want correctly in the right timing. You start making a custom pitch for every client, right?
Yeah, tailor-made.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're dealing with real people or not.
Absolutely. Yeah, but many people like to buy peach. They like to buy this peach. And that's many of the American buyers. They're like that. They like just tell me all about it. Sell me this hair straightener, like ceramic made. I want to hear about it, and then they pay for it. They just need a discount or something. It's just some people like the game.
I like those people in the mall that are like they're probably older. They're not gonna buy anything from you, but they're like, all right, what do you got?
Yeah.
You're like,
Free
all right.
samples.
Yeah, or not even free samples, but they see that you stopped them. Whatever you did stopped them. So now they're like, all right, I'm not gonna buy anything, but let me hear your speech. Let me hear what you got so far. And you're like, all right, bet. So let me give it my best shot. And I know you're not gonna buy, so here goes. And then if you can take that and turn it into like a damn, you're like, yeah, come this way, come this like, it's such a great feeling to you. You don't know how to and then like have you ever let's say the first time you ever like told, hey, this is what you're gonna be doing at the mall. All right, and then the first time somebody actually listened to you and they actually went to the register, you actually made that sale, you were like a little nervous, right? You're
Absolutely like, nervous. I almost like, peed in my pants, and I was like, I didn't. Yeah, it's scary because you don't know. It's like it's not just in business; it's everything. Like going first grade first time, you don't know what you're dealing with, how this register work, how does the money works. They pay me. Did it went through? Did I make a sale? Is it like a new career for me? But one point about what you said about this older person that come to the kiosk and not buying, there's actually very important, and it's also connected to the construction sales in a way. This person, I mean, we judge because he's older, he doesn't need the hair straightener, right? Or whatever it is, yeah.
He's like a ball, bro.
But he coming and check it out, and we with our interpretation or with our past decide that he's not a buyer. Now, we may be most likely right, but there is an option out there that he is a buyer. He has a daughter, he has a granddaughter, he want to buy them a gift. The grandparents, they have no idea what to buy. So when they see an idea, they're actually good buyers, just FYI. But when you open your mind to these other options, that's what make you, I think, a better salesman. Because when we judge, we basically going to sell to the people that we only think we going to sell to, but we're not open to the one that there are many more out there that we're not open to because of previous judgment. And again, this judgment is based on something that it's relevant. It's something that's important to look at. It's maybe past experience. Like, oh, okay, I had 4 older people came to my kiosk and asked me, and nothing happened with it. So it's come from a legit place. But if you ignore it, put it aside, and do the same thing, like you said, do your best, trying to sell it, and open your mind to options that he's going to buy, these people are actually coming back and buying.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if anything, they're going to bring their whole family with them, because you never know, that person might be the person who's in charge of like all the finances and stuff. And when they come back, they're like, I'll come back next weekend. And you're like, oh, they're not coming back. And they show up like, hey, I'm looking for you. And you're like, you're just like a little kid. You're excited. You're like, oh.
Yeah, now the truth that we're always hoping for this one of many that's going to come and buy from us. And sometimes it doesn't come and we get frustrated. The idea is that even if you don't sell it, and let's say 9 out of 10, you're not going to sell, let's say, or 19 out of 20, you're not going to sell. But this time, if you look at it as a potential and also as a practice, that's when you really take advantage of every lead in every industry. When you think about it as a practice, and when you open your mind to know maybe they're going to buy, maybe my judgment is wrong. And I had experienced it a few times that my judgment was completely wrong. Yeah.
Also, don't think with your pockets, because like everybody's financial situation is different, right? So you're like, oh, okay, they're going to want the cheapest screen protector. They're going to want the cheapest case. They're going to want this. They're going to want that. The person's like, nah, I want the most expensive shit. I don't even care. It just sounds expensive. So it's like, it's got to protect my phone more. And you're like, yeah, bro, about that. Like that's not really how that works. But they're like, I don't care. I want it. Like, Yeah,
we have no idea. Zero idea. Zero. Like a way to know who's going to be a buyer, who's not. And when we judge, we literally cut our potential.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. But those are just one of those things where it's like you kind of got to get out of your head and get out of your insecurities, because it takes a lot of courage to be able to walk up to a total stranger and be like, here's what I have for sale. And they're not interested in buying, but you have to somehow, from this step to the next, you have to be able to take that step and know that it's gonna be all right. Like, but those insecurities, those doubts that you tell yourself, oh, they're not gonna be interested. They're not. They might have just been like passing by, thinking about whatever, thinking, didn't even see you. You say, hey, they turn around, they're like, oh, what are you selling? Phones? They might have been talking about someone like talking about phones with someone earlier that day, and then you're just like, want to buy a phone? They're like, let me see what you got. Yeah. And you're just like, oh damn, but you were just telling yourself all this negativity. No, man.
Yeah, but I mean, in general, I mean, we attempt to think that people buy only when they need. How many times there is not even one person that I know that buy only what he needs. I mean, you, Richie, I mean, you buy for sure many things you don't need. Same here with me. You know, so it's, even if we're going into the mall and we're not looking for sunglasses, but there's a good deal or it sounds good or it looks right, I'm going to go for it, you know?
I'm going to spend my money.
Yeah, people love spending their money.
Take my shit. Take.
Imagine people love spending money. I think the same way they like to make money, and you hear about it everywhere. How people love to make money all over the social media, right? So, but they have it to spend it.
Yeah. Also, another thing that was very important about finances that the job taught me was pretty much because like you'd have to break it down, right? For us, we break it down into bundles, right? Let's say you're selling a family plan or something. Now you have someone's phone bill that you're looking at, and you're trying to justify it to them. So now you got to justify it in terms that actually make sense and that pertain to them, or that's like relevant, right? So it's like, hey, listen, you're spending $240 over there for like 5 lines, right? Over here, you're gonna be spending $260, unlimited everything. But think about that. That's like 4 cups of coffee less a month than you would have bought, and now you have unlimited everything, brand new phones, and you don't have to worry about your little kids taking your phones and running out to the living room.
So that speech will work for coffee addicts.
I can sell you some coffee. No,
no, just because they're gonna convert what the service you're giving them to cups of coffee. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. There was another one I heard about where it's like burritos with I told the client over there in Hamilton or something, but like she was like telling me something. I was like, yo, there's like this calculator where it converts all of like the money into burritos with guacamole on it. You know?
Never seen that.
That's like 10 burritos with guacamole at Chipotle. They're like, huh?
That's amazing. I've never seen that. That's a good one.
Yeah. I'm not going to eat 10 burritos with guacamole. Maybe I should buy this phone.
Imagine everything you convert to burritos. Like, you want to buy a house, yeah, like 2 trillion burritos. And like,
you know what I mean? They're just like, whoa, that's a whole lot of burritos. Or a house made of burritos.
Creative.
Yeah, you know, I like to mess around. But so we talked about pretty much like your perspective and stuff from when you started. Now let's say you can go back and talk to a young Tom. What would you tell them before they got into, you know, the life that you're gonna lead, and some tips along the way so that way when they get there they're not just like ping 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 against everything.
When you say young Tom, I'm trying to think young Tom, like how young I want to go, you know, because...
Oh, shit, he's like 5-year-old Tom, like, hey, bro, just pick up a hammer.
Look, when I was like high school, I used to play basketball, like, you know, school team, and like, so I many times I see basketball, I watch basketball right now, when I see many times, like, if I was there for myself, I would slap my face, just wake the fuck up, man, you know, just run to the ball, punch them, don't worry about anything, don't worry about the foul, don't worry about the 5 fouls, don't worry about anything, you know, and I work harder. Yeah, if I would go back then, you know, high school, I would tell myself, really, I would, you know, the thing that I think that the most important thing I will say that really, everything is possible. I don't believe personally in talent. I think that talent is something that's built of interest. Like when you are talented, when you're interested in it, so you listen. Like let's say take rap. Rap is very like there's you know we can look at big rappers that we can seem we consider them to be talented, but since they always loved it, they always were around it, they always like did it, you know, and took the chances and did things for it, and it just worked for them, and that's what made them talented. I mean, another big example, like Cristiano Ronaldo, right?
Okay.
Like, this is hard work. Like, you can see any one of his interviews. This is pure hard work. You know, and he's the best at all times. You can say, like, and what for? Like, it's purely hard work. Many people will say, oh, he's just talented. No, these are the lazy ones, I think. These are the lazy ones who are going to say that.
I would say even take a look at Kobe, right?
Kobe, yeah.
He was always talking about, I'm in the gym at 3 a.m. when all my team members are coming in at 6. He's like, I get an extra 3 hours in. They're barely coming in. I'm taking a break, and I'm back in there like 9 to 12 or something. Yeah. It's like, bro, how hard do you work when you already got everything that you wanted? He's like, I keep going.
People call it work. But the question, if you want to be good at something, if this is your goal, this is your passion. Kobe spoke about it, and every successful person talked about it. Like, if this is your passion, you don't go and you think about it as work. You think about it as achievement. You're going to achieve things, what you want. And yeah, I mean, I would work Saturdays, Sundays. I mean, I want to be off. But for me, it's like also, I need to understand that I want to make my achievements. It's not about working. It's about getting my achievements. And it doesn't feel like work all the time. That's what I'm saying. Talent is, again, I think that everyone can do everything if they being taught the specific way. Like, you know, my parents, they support me in everything. When it comes to basketball, for example, they supported me in everything, you know, and took me all the games, were there with me and everything. But they were not like sport oriented. You know what I mean? My dad would not like slap me. Hey, you have to, you know, like punch him or do that and push it. Like, they just let me do my thing. And my thing was not good enough. As a kid, our thing is not good enough. We need to work harder. Like, what is it like you're going to play basketball, you know, like 8 hours when you have school, like on top of it, another like 8 hours. It's like, and all the kids going to go have fun. Like, it's something that's, you know, that's what makes special. Like, again, talents being what they are, I think. Same in business. People always love money, always were around it, always thought about saving, investing, and the opportunities came to them. They became successful with money.
Yeah. And I think, so a lot of it does have to do with work ethic, but a lot of it does have to come into where you just have an interest in it, right? Because, like, let's say you're a baker, right? You're selling pastries and stuff, right? But you go from baking them on your like little easy bake or whatever to now you own a business and it's successful in your local town or something. That took the work ethic, right? But it also took that interest. But let's say it's something like a little bit more like this podcast, right? I just figure it out, bro. Like I just do the thing, right? Because I repurpose all my music stuff. But one thing that I do like to do in it is that I like to ask interesting questions.
Yeah, you're curious, and that's what makes it interesting also.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you're right. It's not always work, but sometimes you just go in there just to kind of get another lesson in and figuring it out, right? And then so long as you can kind of keep, oh, dang, that lesson was terrible, you know? Let me see what tomorrow is like. All right, bet. You know, I didn't want to do the podcast today, but actually I feel like I really got some good vibes from that one. And then you just keep going step by step because it really doesn't matter where you're going, but it's literally what they say. It's the journey.
Yeah.
That's the process.
Yeah. Hard work beats talent every time, they say, right?
Most definitely. And even if you are talented, imagine what you do if you had the hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, this talent is just something that in your childhood, you've been so interested and obsessed with something that's made you talented in it, you know?
Yeah.
Kobe was not born as a baby with basketball skills. So that's what I mean. See, there was no basketball skills over there. But there was something there that made him being obsessed maybe with basketball and success.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, what I've learned is mentors or the right coaches, right? Because if you have a trash coach or a trash mentor, you're just going to be like, I hate this shit. I'm done. But if you have someone who's like in your corner really paying attention, like my favorite examples is, or not even like mentors, but like my favorite examples is George St. Pierre and Firas Zahabi. Zahabi. So basically, George St. Pierre was already interested in the martial arts aspect of it, but Firas pretty much saw what he was doing and pretty much like, okay, this is like, I'm going to train you to help you win your fights. So he pretty much looked at him and, you know, I play a lot of video games, so I look at it like he pretty much saw George as his fighter and he was just pretty much giving him all like the necessary skills, building the skills and stuff to make him as great as he was. It was up to George to keep coming every day to make it like that. But even he started somewhere, right?
Yeah.
You know, nobody's just born a legend unless it's like really, really just in your deck of cards.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a normal human being. I think we all are. So it's like stuff like that doesn't just happen. It really takes that, sometimes you got to be somewhere for someone to see you and be like, feedback, potential. Okay, this is where you want to go with that. And you might be scared to listen to it. But if you have someone who's like always in your ear telling you bad stuff and stuff, you're never really going to get far. Because then now you're like, your mentality, your nervous system, everything is pretty much like dependent on the influence that you receive to kind of keep your system going. Like, all right, I think we got this. Last game was bad, but just and then keep going and stuff.
Yeah, mentor is definitely a good thing to have, but and it can happen without it. If you're just a type of person that like to cross the limits, say, right, like to just do the extra thing and see what's happening because nobody else do it. That's something that's that will take you as an individual farther. But I think even more than a mentor, which again, mentor make you a big shortcut. I will put it this way: if it's a good connection and it's something that's somebody that you really believe in his way, and he has an interest also to teach you and be your mentor, obviously, right? I mean, except our parents, why somebody else will do something for us, right? For free or something. But the right people around you. That's really important. If there's no good people around you, better to be alone. But if you have the right people around you, there are people who support you. There's people who will be real with you, will tell you when you are slagging a little bit and you're not on the right path, or that would not be afraid to tell you the truth in your face. And being around good people also, it's again, and I know they said like being around successful people, but even if you have friends that are not successful, doesn't mean you don't want to hang with them. It just means that you wanna. It just means you wanna
losers.
you just want to make sure that if you want to grow, you will need to find the time to spend around people who are encouraging, and that you see that they have more than what you have, or they have what you don't have, so they can lead you to this way. Yeah, definitely. I mean, my friends many of my friends are like, they have businesses, and I see that the right way is not easy, but it's always bring you to the success.
Yeah, for sure. I think that you can learn from anybody and everything so long as you stay open to it, right? Like they literally learn martial arts from watching insects, right? And just like the same way a young kid can learn from an older man can learn from a young kid, right? You see a young kid, they smile, they laugh, they're boisterous, they're sad, they really show emotions. Grown men don't do that. You can't be like that, blah blah blah. But then you start to feel like a robot, and then it's like, all right, let me just kind of like, why do I feel wrong? You take a look at the kids. The kids are just laughing. You're like, I need that. I need to just have like one of those good laughs in my soul that just make me may bring a tear. All right, back to work and stuff. But like sometimes you can kind of pay attention to your surroundings and stuff. And if they don't influence you, they don't encourage you and motivate you, then that doesn't mean that it's all negative. Sometimes it's like what you were looking for all along was always in front of you, but you might need to step out of that a little bit just to kind of figure out more about you.
Yeah. Listen to everyone, mainly to yourself.
Yeah. Well, and it helps to definitely have the mentality where it's like, whatever resonates with me is what I'm going to use. Because too much of outside sources, you'll never know what's really you.
Yeah.
You're never going to be able to figure it out, or I want to say measure where you're really at, unless you can be real with yourself. But one way you could do that is by actually figuring out what is me.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm saying that right, but
yeah, no.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, what are you in that moment? And then now you can, because they say the best type of growth is by measurement, right, or something like that. So it's like the best type of growth is growth that is measured.
That is measured.
Yeah. So if you can pretty much figure out, okay, so maybe I didn't do good this time, but next time, you can kind of keep tabs on your own stuff. Versus if you're always just listening to what everybody else always tells you all the time, you're never going to know where you're truly at, because now you're just taking advice from everybody.
That makes sense. Yeah, I've never thought about it this way, but it definitely need to be measured. How would you know if you grow or not, right?
Yeah, and then being able to have those real conversations, but the reflection. Being real with yourself is hard to do, but once you actually get that comfortable, like, familiarity with yourself, you can take a breath and be like, least it wasn't me.
Yeah.
She was tripping.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You want to say something?
No,
All right, for sure. So like stuff like that, you take in what it is that's around you too, because like let's say you're at a stopping point. You're stagnant, right? Everything you've been doing just doesn't work. Keep bumping your head and stuff. Oh, cool. Now you take a look at your surroundings. Does that influence you? If it doesn't, I'm sorry to say that you probably got to go start a new hobby or get that spark back in you, because once you got that fire, it doesn't matter how many people tell you anything, anywhere. You just, you flame on to everybody.
many people talk about this fire, but I gotta tell you, I haven't met many people who has this fire. This fire is something that's making people be successful in anything, sports, business, anything. But this fire, when it's temporary, when you have it for a month and then a month you don't have it, doesn't work. Or when you make it, the fire goes. It's like, it's this fire. Not many people really has it. I can tell myself. There's sometimes I have it. I'll do everything to get what I want. Everything. But sometimes, I'm overthinking, and there's some other things that taking my attention, and this fire is not there anymore.
And that's where the hard work comes into play.
Absolutely, yeah. Hard work and consistency. When you're consistent, like we say, like getting it's okay, getting your mindset right, understanding what business you're doing, what work you're doing, what it takes. Like when we have new salespeople, I tell them, guys, if you guys think that you're gonna hear more yes than no, or that's never gonna happen. Like that's never, like we hear maybe 10% yes, 20% yes. It's like it doesn't really happen. Even when even not 10-20%, most of the time it starts as a no and then comes to an agreement. It's gonna be mainly no's.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still getting those reps in, right? Think about it. If you stop, let's say by like your fifth time, you're like, oh, I hate how everyone's always telling me, I quit. I would never be at this company.
Yeah, man, I want to quit many times too. I mean, maybe it'll surprise you. I want to quit many times. It's but then I just think whatever the issue is, like, is this thing going to stop me from doing everything I've done? I'm trying to remember what I did so far. Okay, Tom, what did you do so far? Now you're going to let this little thing, or this big thing, okay, stop you from doing what you're doing? And then my answer is always, hell no. Just let's work with it. It is what it is right now. Let's do the best out of it. And one thing I'm working on is taking things easy, like specifically being kind of new in business, I'll say. Not many years in business. It's, you need to chill. When you're not chill, when you're working out of stress, I don't think the results are never good.
Yeah, because actually I think I said something like, let's just say that when you're working from like all right, so the example I used was I'm on stage, right? And I'm performing my songs and I'm hitting every syllable, every note, everything like that. But there's nothing special to it. It's just me, rapper. Look at what I can do on the microphone when I'm doing it. Right here, I do all the crazy fancy hand movements and stuff. And you're just like, that's cool, bro. But like, I don't really feel like there's any of you behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I have to say something. There was some talker, like someone that doing like motivation speaking. It's called Simon Sinek or something like that. Pretty cool dude. He's one of the first classes or things, pretty old actually, like 10 years or something like that, 12 years, 15. He always said like what's really making big companies or big, like say successful individuals is the why. Everybody knows what you're doing. You're rapping, or who's doing it. You're doing it, but why you're doing it. And then when you see like good rappers or good singers, they singing most of the time songs that have a why, that really have, and that's what attract people. That's what attract people, like some kind of a vision. Sometimes many rappers talk about the struggle, right? Talk about the struggle, like this is why they're doing it. They do it for the friends. They're doing for their to get better, to get out of this. So when you find the why, the passion is there. The beat somehow going to be on point. Everything going to just work when you sing. When you sing, like you said, something that you wrote because you want to write it, but it didn't had any like deep meaning. It's not going to go through people. It's not going to. I always think about my company here, and I always think, what do I bring here to this company that we're doing different, that will make people want to come and work here. And you see here as a person who work here, I always try to make sure that everybody feel good and everybody but why? What is it that we're doing different? And specifically what I found out that we really do different, that we're just literally doing the right thing. Sometimes it means slaps in the face. Sometimes it means being taking advantage of. Sometimes it means to shut up when someone scream at you when there's no even reason to. But doing the right thing, that's something that we do that I think that make people will make people want to come and work in this company without, the fear to lose their job, to know that there is something good that's happening in here, that we have a lot of happy clients. So this why it's something that, and I will suggest you, if you haven't watched this YouTube thing, I'll suggest you look at it.
What was the name of it again?
Simon Sinek. That's the name of the person. You have many, but it's one of the first one. It's like doing it like in circles, the old school, like, on the board. He's doing it on the board. It's like, it's kind of cool though. He's talking about Apple because Apple used to be rocking back then, So
they still are rocking.
Yeah.
We're doing this on a MacBook.
Yeah, there you go.
I definitely agree with you. And just to kind of like piggyback off of what I was saying originally was like, they want something they can feel, right? And if they feel like you're not, because you can be very well versed at something, but not show anybody who you really are.
Yeah.
Right. So for example, here you want people to do business with you. So you got to show them, you're selling them on, this is who I am. And then like the actions that you take after that, that's what they're going to see. That's what they're going to reflect on. Like, I made the right call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People come here to start working. It's like, look, even if stuff's like not all like sunshines and daisies and stuff, we still get stuff done and we try to do like the right judgment call and stuff. That's fair, cool. Bam. All right, we did everything we're supposed to. And like, even when I'm on stage, I'm like sitting there like, I've done this repetition so many times. I'm just not feeling it. Like, okay, so Krav Maga, right?
Yeah.
So like, think about something that, let's say you're not sparring, but like you're kind of training with somebody in front of you, and then they're just a little bit faster than you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck, like they're just, but you keep doing it, and then you kind of get into this mode. And this mode is just, next thing you know, you're just like right there with them, and you're like, if you even overthink for a second, you drop back down.
Yeah.
But you're just in that mode, and then you're just like bam, 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 bam. And after that, you get excited. You got that. You're learning. You got that drive. And I think it's like that in music, because there's been so many times where I was like, damn, I'm down. And then I just get on stage like, I don't even want to do this. I'm gonna just do it. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. And people are just like, I feel that. And mind you, like I go to like a lot of rocker cafes.
Okay.
So it's like, they don't even listen to rap. I mean, obviously everybody listens like a little bit of rap here and there and stuff like that, but they're not there to see a rapper. They're there to see like rockers, comedians and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just happen to be on the docket, but like they're far in between,
I think when it comes to rap, again, I'm not from the music industry, but this is just, I feel like I like to sing to myself, and rap to myself with some songs. When there's a song you like and you're rapping, and it's like, even it's so good that it's like almost ticklish on the tongue. You know what I mean? It's like really good. You like the way the words connecting. You like the lyrics. You like how the beat sits on it, and it's everything. And then there's some fun into singing it. This is one thing, and another way, just you have lyrics that you have, and you have the beat and you sing on it. These two things sounds completely different when you sing them. When you have this joy and you have this joy again from the lyrics, from the beat, whatever it is, it just it sounds much better. It's fluent. And that's what's going to attract people if they like rap or not. And that's why it's so hard to find the right lyrics that sit on the right beat. And that's big part of the art of doing the successful songs, right? It's not just about the rapper. It's about everything around it too, right? Who's like gonna do the entire sounds and thing, right? Like it's
for sure.
It takes more than a rapper to bring a great song. But when it's good, you feel it and you sing it this way. And even, for example, when you're singing your songs and rapping, I would think, do you feel like you're like it's just going out of your mouth and you're enjoying it, or you feel like, oh, I have to do it this way because this is the way I want to succeed?
So I'm gonna tell you something. When I first started, it was like that, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, I gotta show everybody how dope I am in order for me to be taken serious, blah blah blah. Cool. People didn't want to see that. Half the time, they can't even hear what you're saying because there's people at the bar. You know what I mean? They're not really there for that. They're probably there with friends and stuff. But realistically, if they can feel your art, right? Because it's really art.
Yeah.
So if they can see the reflection in that, they can feel you. It doesn't matter if they can't hear what you're saying; they can feel you, and that becomes, some depth. It brings presence to the room, and it's like that's what you're experiencing. Like one of the biggest tricks, or not tricks, but like things that was like key for me was doing karaoke. Because if you have so much fun delivering that song that you love, yeah, stuff like that, you should do the same thing with your own song.
Yeah.
And then people are gonna have just the same amount of fun as you.
Exactly. But also about singers, if you sing in karaoke covers, and and you don't do it good, so what makes you think you're gonna do your own shit good? You know what I mean? So you wanna feel like you again this joy. And again, I'm not from the industry. I'm just personal opinion. What was as a crowd that watching a rapper or any singer, when you enjoying it really, and when you like when there's a good song, a good rap song, when everybody sing it, everybody's like, it's like everybody's feeling it, right? So you want to bring this feel. That's why you want to bring this feel, and rapping, lead as a salesperson. You want to bring this creativity, bring something different, bring the value. The value, and I think in entertainment is the entertainment, right? That you're enjoying it, that you get a moment of good sounds or good whatever it is, and forget about everything else. So I think as a singer or as a rapper, this is what you want to try to bring to the stage, not just to read the lyric. Again, I'm not saying I'm not, I don't know. I haven't watched you. I haven't seen you, but really like trying to singing them, enjoying this singing moment or rapping moment.
Yeah. So sometimes you experience a thing where it's like you'll see somebody go on stage and you can tell that they got a little bit more in them, but they're probably so nervous or something.
Yeah.
And you don't get to see that, unlock that. Those are those people that I root for. Off top, I'm rooting for them because it takes courage, right? It takes courage to knock on that door, a complete stranger's door, walk into their house. Now you're kind of like looking around and they're like, look, we just want this. And you're like, damn, how am I supposed to make some money off of this? But then you start asking some questions, figuring them out and stuff. And this is stuff that you've done before. So now you kind of like practice it and you feel a little bit more familiar with it. And then they start to talk about it. But like, let's say this is a good day for you. So you're like, oh yeah, like that's crazy. But think about it. If you did this, you'd be able to do so much more stuff. And then they're going to be like, that's true. Like, I didn't think about that because they went in there on like a smaller idea, and you're pretty much now introducing them into a bigger vision, a bigger view. And so now they can see the value in that. And you're like, look, it's going to cost you this much, but it's going to be something that you're going to have so much value out of. Like, think about it. You just probably want like this little TV center or whatever like that, versus we can turn it into like a whole movie theater or something. This is just like not realistic or something, but like just that boom. And then that person might tell you, somewhere in the conversation, I really like movies. I really like, putting all this money into my sound system. I like, the blackout curtains to make the room dark or something. Yeah. Oh, bro, why don't you do like an indoor movie theater or something? And they're like, I didn't think about that. I got you, bro. Yeah, here at Energy, we got you, bro. You know what I mean?
We definitely can do that.
Yeah. So what do you need built? Fools, no playing. No.
Yeah, but that's cool. That's yeah. I can talk about sales forever. I mean, it's I think it's a science. I think every salesman know that there's a science. There's a base to it. There's most of the sales coaches, mostly they talking about the same things: connecting, chemistry, similarity, and but there's different tweaks to different teachers and. As we're learning also a lot about body language, and it's kind of cool how people buying. When you deeply think about it, it's interesting. People don't buy because of what we think or what we thought before. They're literally buying value that it's, again, some people, for example, they will buy a construction project it's funny, but many times they don't care how the project going to look like. They just want it to be smooth, clean. They want it to have nice people in their house. They want to have good experience. The results and the result to having a good job, yes, but about if it looks good or not, or sometimes they really care about the attention that you need to give them, about customer service. So sales is, again, it's a pretty wide thing and a wide subject that I think it's important to every person, because we're selling ourselves at every single place. If it's when we go into the bank, it's a business. If we're just having better relationship with them, we'll get better things. If you with people, they're just going to want to hang with you. They're going to give you some connections, right? It's like, it's really, really important to sell yourself well to every single person you meet. And that's why I feel blessed from being exposed to all these sales teaching, information. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool when you see that it's actually not what we thought.
Yeah, because it's real life happening to you, right? Yeah. So it's not like a movie. It's not like what you thought. It's actually happening to you.
Yeah, and it's kind of for phases, like working in a kiosk, then working in the construction industry, and before the kiosk, also working in some other companies like sales. But the more the time went by, the more intense the sales were. So kiosk was being very physical, 12 hours, like on the feet and just trying to hook like people, right? And then in construction is like driving all day long and and meeting a lot of people, getting so many negative responses, and it's become one when it's like in house. You're going to people's house, you're giving estimate in their house, in their place. It's interesting. It's very deep, and yeah. I mean, when you know how to sell yourself well, even your Starbucks coffee cup wouldn't be better.
I like my coffee a certain type of way that like, I'm gonna make sure I take care of this guy's cup.
Hey, it's happened unconsciously, Richie. I'm telling you, it's happened unconsciously. It's not like something that we do it in conscious. It's like unconsciously, when someone giving you, you want to give back. You don't really necessarily think about it. Oh, he gave me, I need to give him back. Sometimes we do, but most of the time it just happens. You want to give back to whoever good with you.
I think, and so like one of these, because I was in like selling phones and stuff, and I'd always have my coworkers that it was always about sales stuff. My mentality, a little bit different, try to do things by the book, but also be a good person, right? People would call me a great salesperson. I'll be like, I'm an even better human being.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like basically I think about like the person, the customer, right? So it's like what they get out of their experience, right? Their perspective. So you look at it like they're already getting the value from the construction, but think about this. They first buy that house. They drive by it, right? They pull into the driveway for the first time. They're probably looking at the house. They see the garage is separate. And they're always thinking like, I like it. It's cool. I just spent a lot of money on it and stuff, so I have to love it. But like, it would be cooler if that garage was connected to that house, right? And then you being the person. So now every time when they come home from work, every time, I really love how I could just park into my garage now, and then I don't have to open up like two doors. I could just park, open up one door. Now I'm in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And they love that, and that's their value already. Yeah, anything is never going to be perfect, right? So you can't really like focus on the imperfections and stuff, because you're going to notice more and more of them. Like even look at some of the signs you see at like Starbucks and stuff. Those letters that you think are supposed to be perfect because it's like commercial or something like that, even those are a little crooked sometimes. And that's just the reality of things. But like if you're able to kind of like zoom out and not have such an overcritical eye, you're really going to see things from the perspective of what, people just passing by. Damn, that's sick. Look at that house, how it's connected to that garage like that. And I really like the paint colors. All right, bet. They're not looking at that little up in the corner piece right there thing. Even if they walk by it, they're like, okay. But this house is pretty sick, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Giving the clients what they want. But I really think that the product we're selling, any type of sale, is not really what people buying. They're not. I mean, they buying the product. That's why they initially approach, but they decide to work or buy from a person. You just give them the right values as a personality.
Yeah.
They say you're selling yourself, right? So it's exactly that.
I think that they're buying you, but the responsibility in that is you listen to them and pay attention to what they want so they actually get what they need.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much like your computer, right? They tell you, hey, this is my idea and stuff. You actually have the knowledge and the skills to take what it takes. So they input all their details. boom, 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 into you, boom, they get the finished product and they have value. Automatically, they got value now. And it's like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Thank you. But you made that happen. You know what I mean?
But how do you make it happen in one meeting of few hours? Because to show someone you can do a good job, like after the fact that he's buying, it's easier because you just need to do the work and be responsible. But to show it to them in the first meeting while you're just talking like everybody else and bringing a different value, that's kind of challenging, because how do you really sell a renovation for someone in few hours? Obviously you need to have experience in it, but it's just literally the comfort that you're giving to people, and that's what needs to be to make the person feel comfortable and make sure he knows that we're going to take care of it. But at the moment, there's a lot of emotional, call it, or a lot of like conversation that's happening unconsciously. We're judging each other a lot, and we're checking each other to see if we can make a sale, we can't make a sale, right? Even when like in glasses kiosk, someone stop and now you start who he's going to buy and he's going to check out you out. Always the salesman is going to try to push me, and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's there's a lot going on during the sale, and I think again, the more experience you have in different fields, the more open-minded you're going to be. I met many salespeople that just were not open-minded to understand that there's more communication than what they think. It's not just about giving the price. How many times you heard about it? Like, it's not the price that's selling, right? It's not the price. What's selling is us. After we're selling, then we have to do a good job and finish the work and do it correctly, exactly the way we promise. But in order to sell, it's not the numbers. And I bought many times things not because how much they cost or the value of them. Well, because of the value of them, but not the money value.
Right. And even working at Sprint, right, they send us to like these seminars at the corporate Sprint and stuff like that. Mind you, I did third party and corporate, but like it was pretty much the same, right? Certain skills are transferable universally, right? Because there's certain sciences that are involved, right? So sales for sure is one of those. It's a discipline. It's a skill that you have to keep building on, stuff like that. Then you start to find it's not really the product, it's you that they're buying, but how do you pretty much like manipulate the situation in order for the value to be placed on this thing, but they're really buying you. So, and remember, you're dealing with like real life human beings. So just like if you say the wrong thing, they're going to get turned off and be like, nah, I'm cool. I'm going to just buy next week. No. So you got to really be able to like kind of pay attention to what's going on, because every little thing matters.
Absolutely. Every little thing matters. Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
We got to get off of here because my battery's going to die. How unprofessional of me, right? But, thank you, Tom. I appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you, Richie. Yeah, for sure.
All right, then, y'all. So, do you want to shout out? You want to do any shout outs to the people?
Shout out to you, man, for doing this thing here. It's my first time even being on a podcast, but it's kind of fun. Shout out to everyone who I'm listening. Is it live, by the way? Is it live?
In the future, it will be. I just kind of want to keep this one private for a little bit, not to kind of like throw things off.
Yeah, I should edit some things,
Yeah. I'm gonna edit like somebody doing a moonwalk across the screen.
I can moonwalk.
You can moonwalk?
I can moonwalk.
All right, we're gonna have to see that right there after this. But all right, then you guys. So be sure to check us out. This is MeVsMePodcast, but also the construction company, Pure Energy Construction, based out of Northridge, California, y'all. But we do jobs all over the place, right? So if you guys need, you guys want to add like an addition, do like a remodel, we got what it takes in order for us to be able to suit that need. So, is there anything else you want to say on that?
No. Yeah, I think we said it all.
All right.
Thank you, Richie.
Have a great day, and God bless you. The blessing continues. Yeah, that's kind of like my